Hello, welcome to a quick demonstration on how you can show the customer PO number from a sales order into a sales invoice. So the scenario can be you have a fixed fee project wherein it is based on a purchase order from the customer, and you would like to save that purchase order on the sales order. And when you bill it, we know that customer purchase order is not automatically showing on the related sales invoice for that project, for that sales order. So what you can do is that you can create this workaround. So the idea of this workaround is you can create a custom field on the sales order and the sales invoice. So it's a custom field on the line level, which so the whole idea as well is that it may be just for a particular project, right? Meaning that sales order is just for that particular project, and you build that sales order and project just billing is actually done on a per project or for that particular purchase order. So the whole idea is that we would copy the purchase order into a a purchase order on the header level of the sales order into the line level. And essentially, when you generate the invoice, that will move across into the line level of the sales invoice. But you would like to show the same as well to be moved essentially from the line level into the header level of the sales invoice, because of the restriction at the moment that when you make use of the standard customer PO number from the sales order, is not automatically moved into the customer PO number on the sales invoice during the generate invoice bill. So we can just show that as well later on. So yeah, just to provide you a context in here as well on what can be done. So I have here the custom field. So the custom field here, I called it line customer PO number. So the purpose of this one here, as what you can see here, is actually displayed on the sales order, which is the basis, right? So which we will be storing the purchase order essentially here, and you would like to copy that across to the sales invoice. All right, so we have first you can come up with a smart event. So the smart event, as what you can see, it's actually applied on the project sales order. So you can put some validation in here wherein the line customer PO number is empty, which means that when you created the purchase or the sales um, order, a project sales order, then if the line level of the customer PO is empty, then you would like to copy the information from the header level of the project sales order into the line level of the purchase order, right? So when you generate the invoice, essentially, sorry, let's go back to that, um, smart event in here. So yes, it's just as the purpose. Let me just, it may be best to have this on the edit mode. So if I go to the other step in here, which is for the API body itself. So from here, it's quite straightforward. We're in based on the record number of the sales order and just populate the custom field that we have on the project sales order, which is called line customer PO number with the header level customer PO number, which we will just be showing later on as well. So once you have the generate invoice, right? We know that the customer PO number from the sales order is not automatically moved into a sales invoice. So what we can do is that when you convert that or when you make use of the generate invoice, the value on the line customer PO is actually moved across to the invoice, but you would like to copy the value from the line level into the header level. So we can come up with another smart event. So firstly, this smart event is on the sales order, right? Meaning from the header level into the line level, but and you can make it like synchronous there. And we have another smart event, which is this time applied. So you can see here applied on the sales invoice, because since the sales order on the line is already moved into the line level as well of, from sales order into the sales invoice, then you can just have it essentially populated, right? To copy the information from the line level of the sales invoice into the header level of the sales invoice. So just like this one, we have a validation in here wherein we will just be getting the, if the validation, the customer PO number on the sales document, this time is based on the sales invoice. If it's empty, and that's, we'll just be getting the first value or the first line. So that's what you can see here. Line number is equal to 0, which is essentially one line in there. So this is again based on the assumption that for every sales order that you will just be billing for one project, which only has like say one sales order. And that's why we just be getting the first line in there, assuming that all the lines will just be belonging to the same purchase order. All right. And yep, just the API body in here for the other smart event, as what you can see, is also straightforward. Just populate the customer PO number, right, based on the document ID, which is coming from. So we're going to populate the header level of the sales invoice by the value on the first line of that invoice. And we can just make it like asynchronous. So you can just run at the back end, right? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's test this, and let me just show you what how this actually behaves. So I have here this project, right, which is a fixed fee again. So I have observed percentage complete as 25%, and let me just generate a sales order. So I have here project sales order, which is my transaction definition. So it depends on your transaction definition in there. And I hope I get this right. So I have the customer there, and I have the project as well. So I'll just make use of that project which we just saw earlier. So we have project 10112, which is a fixed fee project. And I'll just fill out the other fields in here. So we have transaction currency. So I am at the entity level because I'm actually using a multi-currency there, multi-base currency. So I have the item. So I have service one in there. So yeah, so I'll just make the price in here, for example, $5,000. And yeah, as what you can see, you have, just disregard this one here. So I have the standard customer PO number. Okay, I'll just put PO number 456. All right, so that's the purchase order number. So this is the purchase order number from your customer, and you have PO number 456 in there. And as what you can see, this is the custom field that we have generated, or that we created just to accommodate that. All right, so the whole idea of this one here is that the PO number, right, once it's being posted or saved as draft, then it will just be moved to the other line level. So in this case, right, we're saying that there's only like one purchase order for one project for the sales order. All right, so I'll just leave that there empty because we don't need to bother with that. So it's up to you if you would like to hide it. So user will not be able to override it. It will just be defaulting anyway. So I just put it here just for demonstration purposes. But let me just fill out the other details there as well. So let's look for, yeah, we have location, which is because I'm in the entity level anyways. I have the project in there, and I'll just put the task as well. All right. Okay, so I have this project sales order based on this PO number. and this is for a fixed fee project, right? So if I click on post, okay, click on post there, and once we have that posted, so I have this one here, which is SO0089. And let's have a look at transaction in the view mode. So I have the customer PO number, which is PO number 456. Just to be straightforward with the PO number. And did you notice this one here? The line customer PO number, that has already been populated as well. So that's being done by the smart events. So this is smart event, which is deployed on the um, project sales order, which is this one, right? So it's just copying the information from the customer PO to the line level, right? Now, when you try to, so have a look at this one here. So yeah, so this is a project related billing, right? So we would like to make use of the generate invoice in order to generate the project sales invoice. But what you can see here, right? So if we click on convert without saving it, you will notice that the customer PO number also moves along from the project sales order into a project sales invoice. But that's not the case when it comes to generate invoice, and we wouldn't want to convert manually, but we would like to make use of the generate invoice since this is part of the project costing and billing, right? So let me cancel this one, but let's just leave these open for now, which is in the view mode of the project sales order. So let's proceed with generation of the bill for us to see essentially what's going on in there, right? Okay, so if I go to, I'm already on that screen, but let me just restart. So if I go to projects, generate invoices as what you would do anyway for billing, like fixed fee or time and material, right? So you would go to this page, which is generate invoices in there. So I have here the project sales invoice, which is my template. And I'll invoice it by project. As I said, right, I have one purchase order for that project, which I just created one sales order as well, right? So projects in here. So I'm looking at project 10112, which is the fixed fee project, right? So yeah, I can just probably leave it like submitted in there. And if I look for preview, just for us to see if we can see that sales order in there, right? So this is a sales order that we created earlier, which is SO0089. And yeah, I would like to mention as well that with the assumption that there's no like billing schedule related to that itself. So we will just be billing everything in there in the absence of any unique billing schedule, right? So yep, so I have it here now. As what you can see, we have this is the SO, and you have the price in there exclusive of GST, which is 5,000, right? So let's generate the um, project sales invoice from it, and for us to see what's going on in there. So we are using the generate invoices instead of manually converting it, right? Just like any or bidding of your other projects. So let's create an invoice. And once that's being done, we can just have a look as SI 39. So yeah, if I go to order entry there, and this one, and view of SI0139. Right. So, okay. So this is what the behavior, standard behavior when we convert from sales order into sales invoice. So let's notice this one here. So notice that customer PO number is actually blank or in with the project sales order. It's actually there, right? So that's the limitation at the moment wherein the customer PO number is not moving across from the sales order into a sales invoice using the generate invoice screen. However, Look at this one here. So we have that field, right? Custom field applied on both sales order and sales invoice, but that is already moved across automatically, which is the PO number 456, which is at the line level, right, of the sales order being converted through the generate invoice, which is great. Now, what we're saying is that, okay, so maybe you will be billing this accordingly, right? And we know that every sales order or sales invoice will just be relating to one purchase order. And maybe for reporting or printing out of the invoice as well that you will be sending to the customer, you would like to have the customer PO number shown, right? So we have that smart event in there, which is this one, the second smart event, which we actually designated as synchronous, asynchronous rather, which means that it would take some time before that field is being updated, as we don't want to meddle with the generate invoice processes, right? But we would like this field to be updated. As I said, we would probably be using it for like printed document template or um, for any other reporting purposes as well. So at the moment, it's actually blank, but since we have that smart event, which is asynchronous, let's refresh this one here. So we have a condition anyways in here on that smart event that if the PO number is empty and that get the line level, first line level, which is 0 for order entry, copy this information into that field, the standard customer PO number. So let's refresh the screen and just to see if this will be populated, right? So let's refresh. All right, so notice this one here. So that the customer PO number has already been populated. It's all because of that second smart event, which copies the line customer PO number on the first line into that one. So again, from there, you can print document template, or you can come up with reports as well, because this is already at the header level. You can come up with listing or whatever report related to sales invoice. But the most important thing is that we already have the customer PO number populated for us. All right. So yeah, just to summarize this solution, so we have a fixed fee project wherein you receive originally one purchase order for the project from the customer, and you would be billing it accordingly. And you would like the purchase order number, which you would put in the standard customer PO number from the sales order to be copied across into the customer PO number of the related sales invoice using the generate invoice screen, right? So the way to do that is that potentially you can just create a custom field on the line level, both on the sales order and sales invoice. And that customer PO number on the line level will be populated from the header level of the sales order. Right. When you generate the invoice, this line customer number will be automatically populated based on the generate invoice screen, right? But we we know that the customer PO number will not be automatically populated. So what you can do is that, yep, you have a smart event that will essentially copy the information here on the first line of the invoice, which is coming from the sales order, and copy that across to the customer PO number. So yeah, so it's a combination of making use of custom field and smart events as well. As what you can see with the smart events, maybe with the first smart event, you can make it like synchronous, which means when you post or save as draft, automatically being given to you. But maybe for the sales invoice, you wouldn't want maybe to meddle with the generate invoice functionality, right? So might as well just make it asynchronous. So yeah, generate invoice will still do its job, but the update will just be done after the fact. But it's just a matter of waiting for seconds, essentially, just to get the information from the line level of the sales order into the header level of that same transaction document. So yeah, hopefully this quick demonstration shows on how you can populate because of the existing restriction um, on showing the customer PO number from sales order into sales invoice through generate invoice of the projects module. So yep, hopefully this demonstration helps. Thanks.